Okay, so this will be the fourth video lecture on this unit. So last three video lectures I've discussed about genetics. So I've discussed the role of genetics on animal productivity. I have discussed um, basically an introduction on the mechanics of inheritance and also an introduction to the population genetics. So now we will talk about animal breeding. So, diniscuss ko una yung mga principles of genetics, yung kailangan malaman, kailangan matutunan sa genetics so that we can relate it dito sa animal breeding. So, ano nga ba yung animal breeding? So, basically, when we say animal breeding, it is the science of improving livestock population. So, ang ibig sabihin niyan, um, we are applying basically science when it comes to breeding our animals with the goal of improving yung offspring or improving yung genes ng animal and overall making the animal more productive or maintaining the productivity of the animal so that the farmer have or the farmer will have profit. So, yun naman yung end goal kung bakit nagbre-breed tayo ng animal. So, we need to apply science to it. Actually, we need to apply genetics to it para yung mga principles ng genetics para maging effective. Kasi kung hindi, wala ring silbi. Parang random mating lang yung ginagawa natin. So, pag sinabing animal breeding, kailangan through a controlled reproduction of animals. So, keyword doon or I will highlight the word controlled. So, dito papasok yung intervention ng humans. Okay? Pag sinabi kasing control, hindi yan makokontrol, hindi mo makokontrol yung mating or breeding ng animals without the intervention of man. So, in animal breeding, involve palagi yung racer. Meron siyang involvement doon sa activity na yon. Okay? Kaya controlled siya. So, it is controlled reproduction of animals. And another one is that it should be with desirable traits. Ang ibig sabihin niyan, sa animal breeding, yung mga binibreed lang ng racer or ng breeder is yung mga animals that for them is desirable yung traits, yung itsura, yung phenotype, kumbaga. Okay? Kasi wala rin namang silbi na pipili ka ng animal or wala kang tinitignan na criteria doon sa animal. Basta randomly pipili ka lang ng i-breed mo. Although nandun ka as an intervention, nandun ka para gawin yung breeding na yon pero wala ka namang pinipili, randomly lang, then wala ring silbi. So, kailangan pipili ka ng mga animals that are desirable or based on your production, mga traits na desirable para sa'yo. So, pipili. Doon ka gagawa ng criteria and then pipili ka ng mga animals mo. Okay? So, the diagram shows kung paano yan. So, like for example, pipili ka ng cattle, babaeng cattle, sa isang breed na maganda yung trait, and then lalaking cattle on another breed na maganda din yung trait. So, syempre, yung traits na yun may ipapasa doon sa anak. Okay? Anyway, mali-discuss mamaya kung bakit mas maganda yung ganitong klaseng system. We call it as heterosis wherein yung offspring, itong anak, will have a better trait, kumbaga, compared to its mother and father or compared to its parents. So anyway, madidiscuss yan. Okay? So yan yung animal breeding. It is the science of improving livestock population through controlled reproduction. Now, ano nga ba yung objectives ng animal breeding? So, yung primary goal lang naman ng animal breeding is to or it is centered on genetic improvement. Kaya nga yung definition natin on the previous slide is that kailangan with desirable traits. Kasi nga, ang goal mo is to actually improve yung genetics ng animal. Specifically, yung mga economic traits. So when we say economic traits, yung mga traits na meron talagang pakinabang economically doon sa farmer. Kasi hindi lahat naman ng traits is napapakinabangan or profitable sa farmer. So yung tinitignan mo or yung ini-improve mo is yung mga traits na may pakinabang financially. Okay, so first, the objective of animal breeding is to increase production efficiency. So higher milk yield, faster growth, improved feed conversion. So these are basically increase production efficiency. So kung magbre-breed ka, titignan mo to. Mas gusto mo yung higher milk yield, especially if you are involved in milk production. So kung mas maganda, mas yung animal breeding na ginawa mo is it will result to higher milk yield, then mas profitable para sa'yo. Kasi mas madami kang maproproduce na gatas. Ganon din pag faster growth. Like for example, if you are involved in broiler production, so mas gusto mo na mas mabilis lumaki yung mga chicken para makatipid ka sa feeds, kumbaga. So kung mas makatipid ka sa feeds, mas malaki sila, mas maganda, mas mabilis silang lumaki in a shorter period of time, tapos malaki pa sila, mabigat pa sila, then it is profitable para sa'yo. Ganon din yung improved feed conversion. So, ang ibig sabihin nito, um, na-maximize nung animal yung kinakain niya and na-utilize na fully to convert it into like for example, animal product like for example, meat, milk, mga ganun. So, na mas maganda. Kakain ka ng like for example, kakain ka ng 1 kilogram na meat, bibigat yung animal ng 0.8, 0.9 kilogram, di maganda na yun. Okay? So, yan yung unang objective ng animal breeding. It is to increase production efficiency. So, aside from the production aspect or production efficiency, it can also improve reproductive performance. So, like for example, larger litter size, higher fertility, shorter calving interval. All of these are parameters under reproductive performance. So, it might not be directly result to the product, the animal product itself. Pero, again, this is also considered as an economic trait kasi like for example, larger litter size. Ang ibig sabihin ng litter size kasi, mas madaming anak yung isang animal. Like for example, itong baboy na to, ano yung mas gusto mo? Yung 5 heads of piglets lang yung napalabas or yung 13 heads ng piglet. So, syempre, mas maganda yung 13 heads of piglets. Okay? So, through animal breeding, ano mo yan, nata-target mo yung mga ganong uh, large litter size, kumbaga. So, yan. And then higher fertility. So, basically, pag mas maganda yung fertility mo, mas efficient yung animal sa pag-produce ng mga offspring. So, mas productive yung animal, kumbaga. And then, when it comes to shorter calving interval or any other parturition interval dyan, farrowing interval man yan, kidding interval, kung ang ibig sabihin kasi ng interval is from the time na nangyari yung event na yon to the time na mangyayari ulit yung event na yon. So, in this case, sa calving interval, from the time na nanganak yung cattle, to the time na manganganak ulit yung cattle, that's the calving interval. So kung shorter yung calving interval, mas madaming maproproduce na anak on a shorter period of time compared to a long calving interval. Okay? So, yan. Like for example, yung cattle, sabihin na lang natin 283 days, nasa 1 year, yung calving interval, yung isang cattle nasa 1.5 years yung calving interval. So, mas madaming mapoproduce na anak yung mas shorter. Okay, ganon. Ganon yung calving interval. And then, enhanced product quality, better meat marbling, eggshell strength, wool fiber quality. These are all product quality. And tina-target ng animal breeding is to improve this. Okay? So, pag sinabing meat marbling, yung ratio ng fat with the meat. So, yung intramuscular fat na tinatawag na nandun sa in-between meat fibers na nagpapasarap doon sa meat, that's marbling. So, kung mas maganda yung marbling, mas higher yung pag-demand mo ng price for that meat. Eggshell strength, meaning mas less breakage, mas city, mabuong, which also results to more profit. Wool fiber quality, hindi siya sikat dito sa Pilipinas, but again, if mas maganda yung fiber, yung wool quality, pag sinabing wool yung sa sheep, so mas it will demand a higher price. Okay, so those are the first three na objectives of animal breeding. And then the fourth one is improve adaptability and survivability. So again, it might this trait might not be directly result to yung product ng yung animal product, but if you improve the adaptability and survivability, like for example, heat tolerance, kung mas tolerant sa heat yung isang animal, then mas productive siya. um, Hindi masyadong naapektuhan yung kanyang feed intake kasi mas tolerant siya sa heat, hindi siya masyadong nagkakasakit, mga ganun. Then, mas productive siya overall. Same goes sa disease resistance as well as stress resilience. So, if it is resistant to disease, then tuloy-tuloy lang yung production ng animal. Hindi siya nagkakasakit. Same goes sa stress. Pag na re-resist niya yung stress, then hindi bumababa yung kanyang productivity. Okay, so that's one. And then the last one is promote profitability and sustainability. So it lower cost per unit of animal product, efficient use of feed and resources, and then reduce mortality and environmental footprint if the animal breeding is done right. Okay, kung maganda yung method mo for animal breeding, then um, it promotes profitability and sustainability. Okay, so those are the objectives ng animal breeding natin. And hindi ito mangyayari if you do not do yung unang part ng animal breeding actually, which is what we call as selection. Okay, so when we say selection, it is the process of choosing animals as parents for the next generation based on their genetic merit. Ang ano nito, 'di ba sinabi ko on the previous slides na pag sinabing animal breeding, merong intervention ng man. It is controlled. So one of the things that the breeder or the raiser is doing for it to be controlled is yung selection na tinatawag. So basically, ano lang yan, parang simple lang naman yung principle when it comes to selection. You are selecting yung mga animals that are desirable para sa'yo. Okay? Kasi yun din naman yung definition natin ng animal breeding. Yung mga animals that imemate natin yung mga animals that have desirable traits. Okay? So, yun yung process, selection yung gagawin natin. Magse-select ka ng mga parents na yun yung imemate mo, i-breed mo para makaproduce ng offspring that is productive. Okay? So, makikita dito sa picture an example of how you do parang one criteria sa baboy uh, para makita mo kung ano yung talagang gusto mong i-select. So, ito yung parang body condition score na tinatawag. So, one of the criteria, again, when selecting animals, hindi lang naman yung size yung titignan. Titignan mo yung productivity, titignan mo yung records nung parents niya, pwede mo rin tignan yung records ng mga anak, pwede pwede mong tignan yung productive parameters, average daily gain, feed conversion ratio, feed conversion efficiency, titignan mo yung reproductive performance, mga ganun. So, hindi lang naman yung size yung titignan natin. Pero in this case, dito sa example, one criteria is yung size. Okay? So, ang tinatawag dito is yung what we call as body condition score. So, that is from 1 to 5. So, may set of like definition kung ano yung 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Basically, pag 1 kasi, medyo malnourished na, nakutong, makunada. And then when we have the 5, basically this is obese. Kasi may connotation kasi when it comes to pig is dapat nalukmog. So, hindi naman, in this case, hindi ganun dapat. Okay? So, with this, magse-select ka ngayon. Alam mo na yung number 1 is malnourished, and then yung number 5 is obese. So, you select from 2, 3, 4. The ideal one is between 3 and 4. Ito. The ideal one is between 3 and 4. So, ito yung se-select mo. So, when selecting, you need to have a set of criteria for a specific parameter. Kasi kung wala, then you are just blindly selecting animals and you are more influence doon sa biases mo. So kung wala kang set of criteria na tinitignan, tapos tinignan mo lang yung animal without any of those tools, then wala ring silbi yung animal breeding. Kasi sa una pa lang, sa unang process pa lang, which is selection, nagkamali ka na. So it is important that you have a set of criteria that you use para sa, tapos titignan mo yung records, titignan mo yung appearance, and then from there, pipili ka nung best suited for your farm. Mga ganun yung selection. Okay? So, we have what we call as the natural and artificial selection. Basically, pag sinabing natural, ito yung survival of the fittest. So, like for example, heat tolerant of local breeds. Ang ibig sabihin ng natural selection, um, nasa environment na um, yung influence kung sino yung mabubuhay. So, it can be brutal, especially when you look into yung sa wild, uh, sa sa mga mga like for example, lion, mga wild animals. Survival of the fittest talaga. Kung sino lang yung talagang matigas, kumbaga, resistant sa mga diseases, siya lang yung mabubuhay. And siya lang yung merong opportunity para makapag-reproduce. So by reproducing, naipapasa niya yung mga genes na or traits niya na kaya siya nabuhay, naipapasa niya yun. Okay? So from him or her to the next generation. Ganon yung survival of the fittest. Yung mga matitigas lang, yung mga malalakas lang, kumbaga, yung nabubuhay. The rest, mamamatay. Okay? So that's natural selection. Pag sinabing artificial selection, and in this case, this is yung pagfokusan natin, is merong human decision or human intervention. So example is yung top bull selected for semen production. So basically ito yung pagfokusan natin kasi nga you are studying BS Agriculture, yung selection na gagawin mo is based on you as the raiser or as the breeder. So again, that's the type of selection natin, natural and artificial. So kung titignan dito sa diagram, yung giraffe na biglang or through years nakapag-adapt. Basically, kaya mahahaba yung neck is because yung mga nabubuhay lang is yung mga giraffe na mahahaba yung neck na pwedeng kunin yung mga leaves, pwedeng kainin yung mga leaves na hindi kayang abutin ng mga other animals. So, yung mga maliliit yung neck na giraffe, hindi nila kayang abutin yon, so wala silang makain, namamatay sila. So, yung mga longer na neck na giraffe, sila yung nabubuhay, sila yung may opportunity to reproduce, and then eventually, naging ganyan kahaba na yung neck. Ganon. For the artificial selection, from itong parang corn na ito, yung ancestor ng corn, Nagiging through selection, nagse-select ka ng mga mas maganda yung kernels, mga ganyan, and then eventually, you have yung modern corn mo na ganito na yung itsura. From it dito, titignan, dito, through selection, naging ganyan na yung itsura ng corn. So that's artificial selection. Basically, tinitignan ng human na mas ma-benefit kami kung ganito yung kernel, ganito yung itsura ng corn. So, mas productive pag ganito. So, ito lang yung pipiliin ko, ito yung itatanim ko for the next na harvest season, titignan ko ulit, ganito ulit yung itatanim ko, and so on and so forth until nakapag-produce ng modern corn. Okay, so that's natural and artificial selection. So, there are some methods of selection na tinatawag. So, first is phenotypic selection. So, based purely on appearance and performance. Ang ibig sabihin niyan, di ba sinabi ko noon, when it comes to phenotypic, this is the measurable, this is the observable traits natin. So, when it comes to phenotypic selection, yung tinitignan mo lang is yung appearance or the performance. So, like for example, a largest pig for breeding. Ito, magandang size itong pig na ito. Ito yung kukunin ko. Ito yung imemake ko para dito sa pig na to. So, tinitignan mo lang yung yung appearance niya. Or pwede rin na based on records, ito maganda kasi malalaki yung um, maganda yung ADG, average daily gain, maganda yung feed conversion efficiency, madaling lumaki ito, ito yung pipiliin ko. Okay? Yun yung ibig sabihin ng phenotypic selection. You are only looking into the appearance, performance ng isang animal. Pag sinabi namang breeding value or performance testing, dito papasok yung EBV or estimated breeding value as well as yung heritability. So we will not go deeper into this. Pero merong mga computation na ginagawa in order to know the value of the animal based on the records as well as the heritability. Pag sinabing heritability, the degree to which that trait is passed on from the parent to the offspring. So, may mga computation na ginagawa yan. Basically, pag na-compute na and then nakikita ganito yung value ng isang animal, breeding value ng isang animal, the higher the value, the breeding value, the better. Kumbaga, parang ganun. Then yun yung pipiliin. Same goes sa heritability. Kung ganito yung heritability ng isang trait, then naka may guide yung breeder or yung raiser on ano yung isa-select. Okay? So that's breeding value or performance testing. Then we also have what we call as progeny testing. Ano naman yung progeny testing? So based on offspring performance, usually common in dairy bulls and bulls because dairy, yung reproductive milk yield usually is of the intermediate naman na heritability na naipapasa dun sa um, anak. So yun yung progeny testing. Anak yung titignan mo. Yung bibilhin mo or yung imemake mo is yung mga nanay or yung parent, pero yung titignan mo yung performance, yung anak. Kasi based on genetics, so kung maganda yung performance ng anak, then maganda din yung performance ng nanay or tatay or the parents. Okay, so that's progeny testing. Then, we also have what we call as genomic selection. So, using DNA marker-based selection, um, tinitignan na mismo yung gene. It can be complicated and it is not easily practiced by ordinary farmers, but with farmers with enough resources, enough knowledge onto genomic selection or yung tignan mo talaga yung DNA ng animal, then this is a great method to actually select animals, even mga young animals na. So, ma-select mo na kahit mga bata pa lang sila. Okay? So, those are the methods ng selection natin. So, with that, we have system of breeding natin. Hindi lang naman ano yan, hindi lang naman randomly na magme-mate ka. Meron tayong mga system na sinusunod. So, after selection, um, ito na yung mangyayari. Okay, after selection, you can do the breeding itself, but before that, you need to know kung ano yung system of breeding. Again, we will not talk deep into these systems, especially kung ano yung mag-iiba dun sa genetic composition nila. Pero yung una dito is interbreeding system. Ay, interbreeding, inbreeding system. So when we say inbreeding, mating of closely related animals. Yan. Meaning, yung father to the daughter or yung mother to the son, the brother to the sister. So that's inbreeding. Okay? Closely related. So yung kapatid na kambing, imemate mo doon sa isang kapatid niya, then that's the um, inbreeding. So kung makikita dito sa picture, ito yung nanay, then ito yung anak, yung kulay black. So nung lumaki na yung anak, brinid mo doon sa nanay ulit, then that's basically inbreeding na tinatawag. Okay? So yan. Ano yung uses nito? Uniformity of desirable traits because you are only using animals within the same family. Aside from that, fixing superior alleles and developing pure lines and recognized breeds because again, you are using only um, or basically you're using genes, kumbaga the same genes all over and over again in the same family. Ano yung risk nito? Since again, they are of the same family, it will increase homozygosity. So it can be homozygous dominant or homozygous recessive na yung genetic composition. And it will result to, or it will expose harmful recessive genes natin. So, dyan papasok yung what we call as inbreeding depression. Ang ibig sabihin ng inbreeding depression, pangit na yung lalabas or merong abnormalities na yung mas merong mga abnormalities or um, hindi na ganun ka-productive yung animal. Okay? So like for example, reduce fertility, reduce survival. So kung titignan dito sa diagram, because of the inbreeding na ginawa, nanganak ulit yung nanay, pero yung isang anak, or pero yung anak namatay. Okay? That is because of inbreeding depression. So, I'm not saying na hindi maganda yung inbreeding. Maganda yung inbreeding and maintaining pure lines, pero hindi siya pinapractice on ordinary farms. Ito ay pinapractice sa mga malalaking farms that knows how to handle yung inbreeding depression as well as meron silang goal, meron silang mine-maintain na pure line. Okay, so that's the inbreeding. Hindi siya recommended for ordinary farmers, but it is a way to practice to maintain pure lines for those larger farms. Okay? Now we have what we call as outbreeding system. Ano naman yung outbreeding system? So, kabaliktaran lang kumbaga ng inbreeding. So, pag outbreeding naman, it is a mating of unrelated animals. So, kung sa um, inbreeding, it increases homozygosity. Dito sa outbreeding, it will increase heterozygosity since unrelated na yung animals natin. So, it also increase vigor, hybrid vigor, and productivity or what we call as heterosis. Ang ibig sabihin niyan, pag minate mo yung isang animal, tsaka yung isang animals that are unrelated to each other, especially if they are of the different breeds, yung kalalabasan na offspring will have what we call as hybrid vigor or heterosis, meaning the product the productive parameters of that offspring or yung anak nila is mas maganda compared to the parents. So, mas recommended ito sa mga ordinary farmers natin. So, that's outbreeding, unrelated animals. So, meron tayong types ng outbreeding. So, you have outcrossing, crossbreeding, and then species hybridization. So, like for example, when it comes to outcrossing, unrelated sila, so meaning hindi sila magkapamilya, pero the same breed. So, like for example, yung landrace na baboy, minate mo doon sa landrace as long as they are not related to each other, then uh, outcrossing yung tawag doon. So, another example, yung dairy cow from different herds, um, pero the same breed sila, then that's outcrossing. Pag sinabing crossbreeding naman, it is the mating of different breeds natin. So, example dito is landrace at saka large white. So, parehas, again, this parehas na species, parehas na baboy, pero magkaiba yung breed, then that is um, crossbreeding. Doon sa outcrossing, parehas yung species, parehas din yung breed, then that's outcrossing. Okay? So, species hybridization naman, different species. Ang ibig sabihin niyan, magkaiba na talaga na animal. So, example is yung mule. It is a cross between a horse, that's one species, and then a donkey, another species. So, magkaibang species. Mas mahirap gawin yung species hybridization because, again, uh, hindi naman sila parehas ng genetic makeup, kumbaga. So, mahirap tong gawin and hindi naman siya ganun ka-common. Another species hybridization is yung pato at saka yung um, itik. Pato at saka itik. So, that's species hybridization. So, like for example ito, pag large white to large white, that's outcrossing. They are of the same species, pero they are of the same species and they are of the same breed. Okay? Outcrossing pag ganito. Pag ganito naman, they are of the same species, pero they are of the same different breed, Dorok and large white. That is crossbreeding na tinatawag. And then ito naman yung species hybridization. So it is a mix between a mule, a donkey, and a horse, kumbaga. Ganyan yung itsura. Then other type or other system of breeding, grading up or what we call as upgrading. So improve local breed by repeated mating with a superior breed. Ang ibig sabihin lang nito, a native, like for example, native cattle, binid mo sa merong or minate mo sa isang merong breed na cattle, then yung anak, i-mate mo ulit sa may breed, and then and so on and so forth until nag-stabilize na yung genetic makeup, that's upgrading. Basically, or grading up, ina-upgrade mo yung native. And then, pag sinabing rotational crossing, maintain heterosis or hybrid vigor over time since niro-rotate mo yung cross or um, it involves 2 to 3 breed swine rotation. So, yung anak, hindi mo muna ibebenta bagkos i-mate mo ulit sa another breed of the same species. And then pag sinabing line breeding, mild inbreeding to maintain traits of superior ancestor, like for example, sour line preservation, it is a form actually of inbreeding yung line breeding. Pero yun, within a specific line or strain ng animal. So mild lang yung inbreeding, hindi yung full-blown na anak to anak to parent, ganun. So kung titignan, ganito yung upgrading na tinatawag. So you have a native doe, i-ano mo sa purebred na Anglo-Nubian to, then ito yung kalalabasan. So, F1 na merong purebred at saka native. I-mate mo ulit sa another purebred, ganito ulit yung kalalabasan. And then, i-mate mo ulit sa another purebred. And then, ito na sa third generation, ito na yung itsura. So, 87.5% purebred, 12.5% native. So, in-upgrade mo na. From 100% native, nagiging ganyan na yung mga ano natin, mga offspring natin. Okay? So, yan yung system of upgrading na tinatawag. And then, ito naman yung sa rotational breeding na tinatawag. Okay? So, um, ang ibig sabihin nito, hindi pa siya binebenta dito. Hindi mo pa siya ibebenta dito. Bagkos, i-cross mo ulit siya to another breed. And then, ganito na yung kalalabasan ng genetic composition. And then, i-mate mo ulit yung offspring with the other breed. And then, ganito na yung kalalabasan ng genetic composition. And then, so on and so forth. Hanggang ma-achieve mo yung target mo na composition ng breed. So, that's rotational breeding. Okay? So, those are the basic systems of breeding natin when it comes to our animals. So with that, that ends our discussion on animal breeding. Thank you for listening.